Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Z2X. I'm joined here by my mother.
Hello, hello,
Hello, hello. And what are we going to be
hello.
talking about here today? A little
Well, I
update.
think we're going to be two things, right? I'm going to do touch base on the updating of the Harry Potter new series and the actors,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
you're going to touch base on some games
Some,
issues,
yeah, some
and it's
game
kind of
stuff.
all about the same, kind of genre stuff that um, most people they're like whatever anymore.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we'll start off with mine because I have a lot of that info on that stuff. You're the gamer,
hmm
right? And this also involves like JK Rowling because, and of course, that's my age group right there. So she, we did a couple of videos ago about, was it just last video?
Yeah,
Maybe
I
it was
think
the
I think
last
think it
video.
was the last video actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was. And we were talking about the actor, and I'm not very good at saying his name that's playing Snape.
It's like it was something.
Pape,
Papa. It's
Pape,
Pappy Papo. I'll look it up real quick.
Pappy,
Papo. Um.
Pape, Esu, Esudu,
A pop,
Esudu,
a sudo, yeah, something like that.
a Pape Sudu. Anyway, so he it doesn't say that he started it, but I think he signed it, and I thought he was a part of that
From what I
starting it.
know, he did start it though, right? He was the
Yeah,
first.
yeah, I think he did. He's the one who
At
started it.
least he was the
So
first to
there's a
share it.
Yeah. So what happened is that, and in the UK, they just said that are men are men and women are women, and if you're transgender, you can't be in women's spaces,
Yep.
like shelters, prisons, or if a
Sports.
woman wants sports, and if a woman group wants to just be women without males with male genitalia, and most of it we're talking about, they're saying not they're talking about people that have penises still, because that's still a big thing that's going on in England. That trans people are they're
Basically, it
most of them
means
haven't
that,
had all the trans.
me,
They're like halfway.
yeah, it basically means that transgender people aren't allowed in spaces that are designated to be
For male
like
to females
ma-
for females.
for
Yeah,
females. So it's
yeah.
like
And so a lot
you
of
have to be in your biologically assigned space.
exactly. And I'm thinking, I personally know transgender peoples, and the ones I know are fine with that. They don't think that they should be in sports and stuff.
hmm
But I do understand there's probably issues with bathrooms, and I get that. But now everywhere has family bathrooms where there's just one stall. So just
Yeah.
use the one stall one. Like that's what most people are. And or maybe just start a third group. Let's start a third sports thing. Anyway, back to this what's going on. So
Yeah.
he started this letter, and this is what I thought was crazy. So J.K. Rowling, he's gonna, and they call her the TERF, and she was the one fighting for women-only spaces. And mind you, she's a huge liberal feminist,
hmm
and that's what they call them, TERFs. They call them
Trans
something.
exclusionary radical feminist.
Thank you. I never remember what that is. Anyway, and so she's like, and she's totally very liberal. She just is like, hey, we still need to have our own spaces because biologically you're stronger. A lot of these men just say they are, but they're not. And they hurt women. And there's been that's why the Supreme Court did this case, is because there's been so many women who've been assaulted, we'll say that, in these spaces by these transgenders. Anyway, so it's getting heated over there, like it is always here too,
hmm
about this, the 2% of the population that clearly they're going to take over or whatever. But so he wrote this letter, and in this letter he put, film and television are powerful tools for empathy and education. We believe passionately in the ability of the screen to change hearts and minds. This is our opportunity to be on the right side of history, and we need to change it by doing films and shows that show that trans and non-binary intersexual people living in the UK are not excluded in everyday life, and they're against it. So they're putting up to this, that they're against these things. There's like 400 signatures. I don't know all of them. There's some actors and stuff like that,
Yeah.
but I mean, they're only four, and to me, I feel like, you know what, you're 400 elitists. I'm sorry, but it is because the majority of the people just they're like, no, we really just don't. We have empathy. I
We
don't
do
think
not
that just
care.
because, yeah, just because somebody doesn't want them in their spaces doesn't mean they don't have empathy for that person and their issues. They're just saying, but this is mine. Why don't you make your own? You know what I mean? Like you
Hmm.
need to find your own space, and I
Yeah.
understand that. So JK Rowling's, because all of the news are saying their turf as a derogatory statement, because it is very derogatory in those areas. They are saying like he shouldn't even be work for her, you know. And she's like, listen, he can have a different perspective. I don't care. I wouldn't fire him even if I could, because I believe that everybody can have their own opinions, and I don't believe in the cancel culture, which, mind you, those other people do obviously believe in cancel culture.
Yeah, 100%.
Anyway, so I saw her talk about it on Twitter, and I mean, personally, I would fire him for one because he's not the right fit for it.
No,
That's
we
my
talked
first
about
and
it.
foremost.
What I would do is I would fire him, and then I'd get Adam Driver on the phone and be like, "All right, we have a multi-billion-dollar franchise. We can pay you like I don't know, 20 million or whatever you want."
Well, even somebody else, just freaking somebody who's more remotely close that looks like him. I just feel like he's supposed to be working with her when he does this series. Clearly, they have completely different worldviews and shit. I don't think he's going to, like you said. What did the thing that you brought up that was really really good about why um, One Piece was so good?
Well, because One Piece, in the One Piece live action, if you guys didn't know, One Piece originally was a manga series that got turned into an anime, and then they made a live action
manga
series. Manga is
manga's
Japanese
like an
comic
animation.
book. It's
Yeah.
Japanese
Yeah.
comic books,
Yeah.
and it's on Netflix if you can watch it right now. It has a whole series. They basically made a full live action. Live action for the Japanese stuff, like when it comes to America, doesn't usually have a good reputation at all. It has a very bad reputation because people
Doesn't
always do
change
it
over very good.
because they always do it poorly, and they always have people that don't understand it. But they got some people. They got the original creator that made all these comics, and then
Yeah.
they had a crowd and a group of people from everyone from the director to the actors loved this series. They love the creator. They love the series. They're all huge fans of the series.
But most of the time they love the creator, right?
Yeah,
That was the
they
big
love the
deal.
creator. The main actor who does the main character for the One Piece. When he met the creator, he was like, "Oh my God, it's such an honor to meet you." And because they love everything that comes about the series, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
They love all this stuff, and I think
And
that's
that's what
when
made it good.
yeah, that's what made it so good, because all the other adaptations, which proved for every other type of like manga and all this stuff, that if you don't have love for it, it'll be bad. And then there's one time where there was love and it ended up good, and I think that's pretty telling.
And it was a number one trending on Netflix for a month.
And it's the number one
country.
ever, actually.
All over the country. And so this takes me back to this guy. He wasn't a good fit, for one, for who he is. And I don't care about this inclusive stuff. They want to make it modern. I don't like the people who are going to be producing it and directing it. And he just put me off even more because he's going against her and basically calling her names and saying she's on the wrong side of history. Now, if I hear this statement another time, I'm going to rip out my ears and my eyes.
Yeah, it
This is our
happens
opportunity to be
all
on
the
right side
time.
of history. Guess what? You probably are not going to be on the right side of history. I have to say,
No.
because clearly they don't understand normal people. Anyway, so that was my thing, and then she just is like, she has become she's really put down, and it's a good thing she's got a lot of money, because she really works hard on women's rights, women
Yeah.
and girls. And a lot of those people don't agree with her, the stars. But guess what? The average people do. And that's where, again, this elite is like, what are you thinking, Hollywood? What are you thinking, stars? You're out of touch so much. And even though they think that they are, you know what it comes down to? They think they know better than everybody
Yeah.
else. And I can understand, and let's put it out there, I'm empathetic. I understand that it's hard and they want to be, but you can't compete with women. You are stronger, and there is a biological difference. And I'm sorry, it's just you and I. The bathroom thing, that's a hard one because I probably wouldn't have an issue if they were really a transgender, but there's some people who are bad actors who
Yeah,
use
lots of bad
that,
actors.
a lot of them, and that go in there. And so I can see a little girl being, a mom, and you let your little girl go in there. We already have to worry about weirdos in the bathrooms, and it's going to scare them. And there's, I mean, and I think for them not respecting a woman's fear issue is also degrading. Also, again, I think that's very what is it when a man is ruling everything? The patriarchy.
Yeah, very patriarchal is the
and
word.
they also say whatever, misogynist. I think it's
Misogynistic.
very. I think just because they dress up like a woman, their misogyny is not ending. Anyway, that was the end of my thing, and I think that he should be fired. And she's a better person than me by saying that she wouldn't fire them just because they have a different opinion. Because I'm like, I'd fire him, not probably because of his opinion, just because he's the wrong actor too, and that just gives me another reason why I would fire him. Because if you're going to go against your boss and the creative design as a person, and basically he called her out too, then I think that you should be fired. That's like working for a company and going against your company. I just think you're an employee, and again, these actors, I feel like they should just shut their pie holes.
They really just gotta. I mean, honestly, I don't even think you should be a part of a project like this if you aren't even like a fan of it, anyways. But like,
no, and that was exactly. That's the point I'm bringing up this letter. It's like, dude, if you're not even a fan of her as a person and this story, because he doesn't even seem like he cares about the story. He's just acting the part. Like he has nothing to say about Snape that he thinks he could do it. There's been zero. He was just, truthfully, I hate to say this, but I heard he's a good actor. But I think he was also cast in this just because he was black.
honestly, that's what it almost feels like because like it was just so weird. Like he doesn't have like a lot of like
I've
love.
looked
It
it
feels
up,
like.
and yeah, exactly, the love. That's the point I'm trying to make. I've looked up and to see if he's even talked about this stuff, if he's talked about how much he liked Harry Potter stuff. He's never said any of that. It's like it probably wasn't even under his radar. It probably was. He's in England. I think he's an English actor, so he probably obviously was, but clearly it wasn't his passion or anything. He couldn't care less about it. So yeah, I go back to that One Piece, and I love that show, that live action show. You introduced it to me, and I had so much fun watching it. It was so good.
Season 2 is coming out this year, and that'll be good. Now that'll be good.
All the characters were freaking amazing, and I would have loved to have seen the Harry Potter series be better, but I feel like everything that they do, every turn, they're alienating groups of people constantly, and it comes down to one, bad people choosing the bad directors that they chose, and now this stuff, it's like it's just not gonna. I don't think HBO realizes, but it's not gonna play out good for them.
No, not at all.
I mean, I could be wrong. Of course, I don't know everything, but I just have this feeling it's a Snow White effect. It's the Snow White effect. It's going to just start tumbling down.
Well, because people start, like, they immediately start, like, getting, rational or not, people have started getting angry at stuff like this, and they just immediately write off anything with even, like, a semblance of this.
Exactly, because they're done with it. They're done being lectured. They're done being told what is the best thing, what the right side of history looks like. They're done with politics in their actors. They just want to sit back and fucking enjoy it, Yeah. They want an actor that represents that, and he just isn't in any way, shape, or form a part of this. All right, now your turn.
All right, let's see here. Hold up. So the next thing on here is that so Civilization 7 came out relatively recently. I think sometime last year, actually.
Send me the thing about it, because I sent you that weird tweet that I saw, and I was like, "What is this about?"
I'll just send you the trailer for it because I thought it was kind of cringe. Hold up, let's see here. So let's see. You're gonna have to look it up.
Right, I will.
But however, so Civilization 7 is, well, the 7th game in the Civilization series, which some people might know is a very long-running series. I think since the 90s. Yeah, it came out in 1991, and it was very popular on home computers. The whole concept, it's kind of like Risk or one of those types of games where it's like you're like one of the leaders of and it's very historical based. It's like you're a leader of a real empire and that person's actual leader, and it's changed throughout time because there's many different leaders for stuff.
Well, yeah, if you think about it, it's been around for that long.
Yeah,
of course they're gonna.
And I mean even the ancient leaders and stuff. Except people like Gandhi. Gandhi's always been India, but
yeah,
it's gotten like pretty popular overall. Even spawning such memes such as like the Gandhi nuke meme that I always thought was really funny, because there was this glitch that Gandhi, he was so peaceful that if he got democracy, it would like loop back around and make him super violent because of how the game was coded. But now they released a new one. Civ 6 people were like a little bit, but I personally liked it. I play it a good bit. Civ 7 though has gotten some huge backlash because one, I think it's like $70. All right, here like.
And they call it Civ 7.
It's the seventh, yeah, because it's civilization.
Yeah, I got you. I just didn't know you said Civ.
Yeah, Civ 7. And there's a lot of big issues with it. First of all, the first thing people noticed was the map generation. Not so it has you can play in the real world, but you can also play on like pre-generated maps or like randomly generated maps like that. And I sent a picture, and that's like some of the maps that you would see right there, or like in Civ 7, which are like, you see how blocky that is, and like even as a fake.
I'm sorry, but that's weird. But
as a fake planet, it doesn't really work well. If you want to see, this would be.
It's like a two-dimensional.
Well, because it's like scrolled out the hex map of it. But these are like the old maps that you would see back in like in Civ 6, basically map generation.
I like this one. Yeah, I like that other one.
Yeah.
I like that one too.
Yeah, these are just
they're like real maps.
Yeah, but the other ones feel like they're big old bricks. Like
it is weird.
I saw this tweet right here that I thought was funny about it, but
same as it ever was.
Same as it ever was.
Same as it ever was.
Yeah,
and the days go by.
But the thing is, in Civ 7 already had some big signs, like, okay, people were like that, but the main big drama about Civ 7 that people were like, what? Was that, so they were like...
What kind of Civ game is it? It's just a Civ...
So they're all
civilizations you're taking over.
Yeah, they're all the same style game. It's just like they change up mechanics a little bit, add one or two things,
The style of the game is like a war game.
It's a war game. It's like, as I said at the beginning, it's like Risk. It is straight up like a computer game version of Risk, turn-based.
Okay.
And you can play versus AI and stuff too if you want.
Okay.
While playing all these ones. So in like all the other games, like last game, Civ 6, you played as if you went for, let's say, America, right? You played as Teddy Roosevelt. Classic American leader. However, in Civ 7, I think I told you who you play as instead of Teddy Roosevelt, which I just gotta say too, the art I feel like almost is dropped off too when it comes to a lot of this stuff. Because this, I'll put it up on screen. This is Teddy Roosevelt in Civ 6, but they're like, who's really a leader of America? The entire nation that you play as your character, and that because the characters give you different boosts. I think it's Harriet Tubman, of the Underground Railroad.
Tubman, yeah. But tell me, okay, and I understand that Harriet Tubman is a very big black icon, but that's not the one I would have picked for...
She was never even the leader of America.
No, and I was just going to say they could have done Obama. I mean...
I think Obama would have even been fine, honestly.
Yeah.
Like if...
Or can I go here? Martin Luther King would have been the #1 choice I would have picked for that.
If you really want...
If they want to do a civil rights thing. Martin Luther King.
If you want like if you want like at least someone kind of big, because at least he was in some sort of leadership position. Though
he was the leader of the civil rights movement.
However, with some of the mechanics of how these games work, I think it would have been better to have some of these characters as like NPCs or other things. Like, I don't mean like other AI, but not leaders.
No, I got it. I know what you're talking about.
I think even Obama would have been a lot better. But then,
well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that there could have picked a million other people, but they picked. And Harriet Tubman, they have such a huge discrepancy now in the history that we've learned that she didn't really do what they thought.
Yeah, there's a lot of erroneous facts about the story that people have looked into now. Believe it or not,
because everybody needs a hero, and I understand that they used her, but she actually had mental health problems, and she was a liar about a lot of stuff.
Well, because also a lot of the people that published her stuff were themselves big liars and loved just stories. They just loved whatever stories they could get their hands on.
I think it comes down to, in the olden days, like where people would say, my grandpappy is an Indian. They didn't have any like the fact checkers or historians that actually have documentation. They never looked into stuff like this. And then when they go look in, everything that she said, they can't corroborate.
Yeah, like you can't find the really big evidence that she did it.
You can't find any of the geography. You can't find her names or anything where she was at. Did find, she wasn't anywhere near where she said she was supposed to be. So, and then they knew that she had mental health problems because they found that in the issues.
Schizophrenia, yes.
She had. Yeah.
It's like, and some of these characters are good folklore, I think, like, and good,
I think you should
and good
them.
legends. Because
I would have used her still, but not for the leader.
Even in, even modern day, like in a lot of recent wars, you had stuff like Ghost of Kiev, like, these people or these ideas of folklore people, which they might not even exist or have done what they said they did, but hey, they exist. They represent ideas, and that's.
I understand what you're saying, but you're saying for the leader of America.
For leader,
now, what was the other thing that I
said? The newest one,
what is this?
However, is that they are like that. I thought was ridiculous.
Well, and I had to send this to you because I was like, what are they talking about? Because I don't play these games, obviously. And you explained, you're like, oh my god. Tell me, go ahead.
So basically the trailer for the new update expansion, by the way. Expansion means, by the way, you got to realize you have to pay money. Jesus Christ, I didn't even realize the like to dislike ratio on this. But I'll send you the trailer. So one, it's this cringy sort of trailer that's like meme, because it's like it's memeing about like the player naming a place, and they're like butter, blah blah blah, 3, 2, 1, or like Puddington as the empire name. But the whole.
Do you want to watch it? Should we watch it and then you can play it while we're watching it?
I say you watch it just because it's a little hard to edit that in sometimes.
Oh, okay.
But this right here it's this clip. I'll play it overhead so you guys can see it.
Who's that woman right there?
That woman? I don't even know.
Is she singing? What was that music?
I'm not sure. I think that's like chants or whatever, but no, she's talking during the entire trailer.
Yeah, but listen.
Hold up. No, she's not.
She's this black woman leading the charge.
So here, what you gotta realize is too. So she's not singing, but she's just like it's very whimsical. For some reason, this Civilization game, it's got very whimsical music. And the trailer itself, you'll probably see as I put it up on screen. I don't know why, because this is supposed to be the Mongols right here. This is a group of the Mongolians. Genghis Khan.
Yeah.
That's the first person I think of when it comes to the Mongols, right? If you want to go for ancient leaders.
That was the leader. Was that black woman?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it's meant to be. Is that?
So. These people in games are just rewriting our history so that people they're like, oh yeah, didn't you guys know that the leader of Mongolia was a black woman? Even though it's a game, some people might think that's serious. I doubt it, but
yeah, like,
are you there?
Yeah. No. I was just letting you continue, and like, I don't know why you have this black woman leading in the Mongols, like for this trailer here, when. One, it's such a joking trailer about a game that I feel like most people that play Civ are either history nerds, or they're like honestly, at this point, old guys, roughly my dad's age, because this generation has been around for a while, and what
I was just gonna say it's your dad. I think has played it before.
it's an old style game. It's a slow game. It doesn't really appeal.
Yeah.
It appeals to very specific types of people, and I think it's like, who are you marketing towards here? The Mongols, like, get that white guy out of there,
You know
and
what?
get
It
that
might
black
be-
chick
what
out
is
of
that? What is that one thing that they were like? Who are they marketing to?
Yeah.
The Bud Light.
The Bud Light stuff. It's like
She's like, I want to change who we're marketing to, and that didn't go over very well. For
no,
them.
yeah.
Did
It's
it?
the top comment is whoever directed this commercial needs to be fired, and then
Well, and like that's so funny. It's
and
so
the second to
true.
top comment is, what is this, Netflix?
Oh my God, that's too funny.
Yeah.
Too funny. Although I do like some of the shows on Netflix. It's not one I tend to go to when I first go to shows, though.
No, a lot of Netflix
I
original
actually
does kind of
tend-
suck.
Yeah, I tend to go to. She's a strong, independent Black woman who don't need no players.
Yeah.
I tend to go to old shows anymore because the new shows are so effing crazy, and all the remakes. Of course, we've talked about this before. Oh my God, Dallin, I can't
What?
say that out loud.
Yeah,
I can't. I can't say that. Oh my God. Anyway, so I tend to go old school because I get so tired of the remakes and they do such a crappy job at it. And they're just bad writing. It's just bad. Like, I used to love Doctor Who and they ruined it.
Yeah, no,
for
and
me.
it-
It's
it-
like,
yeah.
what were you thinking? Again, what's the topic of our conversations? Like, what were they thinking?
Yeah, what are you?
What were they thinking?
Who is this advertising for? And the main thing
Yeah.
too, then you got to realize is also this trailer. I'm looking because I have a extension that basically it uses a bunch of different data points, and it takes from how many likes to dislikes does something have, right? Because YouTube removed dislikes, but it's a pretty
That's right, they
it's a
did,
pretty
didn't
good
they?
algorithm though that's able to accurately down to maybe a few percent difference what the dislikes are. Guess what's the like to dislike ratio? You can see how many likes it has, 329, and with 76
That's it? 329 likes?
with 76,000 views. Guess how many dislikes it has?
I would have to say it doesn't show any dislikes, right? Or does it?
You have to guess without knowing. Just guess what it is.
Oh, okay. How many people watched it?
76,000.
Only 76,000 right now?
Mm-hmm.
You'd think it would have been more. I would probably guess at least 50,000 were dislikes.
That's a lot. Most people to note. Most people don't actually dislike stuff. Like, it's only like 10% of people that even like or dislike. Less than that, actually. That even.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that even put in likes or dislikes. That's actually.
Well, I usually only like comments. I mean, please like and subscribe to us, by the way.
Yeah.
Can you please
So-
to Z to X like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Anyway, I only do it to videos I really like or people
Yeah,
I follow.
no,
Yeah.
same over here. Like, and what's ridiculous to me is that this video has a like to dislike ratio of 329 period likes to 9.2 thousand dislikes. I will put what this ratio looks like visually up because it is absolutely atrocious. Look at the line there.
Oh, yeah.
Like-
Well, there you go. It just goes to show you that people are over it. And if you know what, again, I think that, okay, let's go back to that thing I'd said about that guy's quote. We have a chance to, they want to tell people what to think. And they think that by doing videos and movies and games, you have to think this way because that's your power, right? You're going to control people because this is a way to reach people, and it's not working. It's just not, because people are like, this isn't what we want. We don't want all this stuff. We just want you to do Genghis Khan,
Yeah.
do Obama or Martin Luther King. Do things that are, why does it have to be one? You always have to have the women, and that's okay. Then pick a good woman. If you're doing England, pick Queen Elizabeth. Pick what was the queen that we just had that died? Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. There's Queen Elizabeth.
Why is it just
Queen?
I think she's Elizabeth too, right?
Yeah. Queen Elizabeth II was the most recent queen's death that I can remember.
I'm like, hey,
also,
wait a minute.
to
That was
give
Queen
you a little yeah, to give a little comparison also, this was the previous, Mongolia. Boom, there you go. That, like, from Civilization 6.
Yeah, it looks like a Mongolian.
Yeah, very accurate depiction of Genghis Khan right there.
Mongolia. How do you say? Is it Mongolian? Is that what you say their
Mongolian
culture is?
Mongolian is it's like I'm saying American versus America, right? It's
Okay, gotcha.
Mongolian is someone that lives or has the traits of
Yeah,
the
that's
Mongols.
what Mongol. Okay, that's what I thought it was. I just had to remember what it was, like if I was saying it correctly.
But yeah,
I
like
don't want to offend
no,
any Mongols.
but I'm looking
yeah.
around here and it's so confusing too because it's like I'm not sure if this is just like it's hearsay or people aren't like unsure because the game is still relatively new. Like Civ 7, no, I haven't. It's like $70. I can check on Steam right now. But like the game like it might apparently even have $70. By the way, that's $70 for the base version of the game. It's $100 for the deluxe version, which includes I think some of the DLC. It's apparently got mixed reviews, leaning into negative right now. Like it's almost onto the negative reviews on Steam. At 40% of people like it. Once you get below that, then it starts becoming negative. Yeah, not really good. And honestly, just stick with Civ 6. Like apparently people don't like it gameplay wise either. Civ 7, and these people don't like you. That's one thing, they don't like you at all. Like
no, they're not marketing for people, normal people. They're marketing for something else. I don't know really. I don't know, else, but
they're marketing towards people that. Yeah, what are they thinking? What are they thinking? I think
that should be the title of all of our videos from now on. What were they thinking?
Honestly, we don't even need titles at this point because we'll have it in so many titles you'll just know. You'll just instantly know.
They'll just know. Yeah. What were they thinking? Why are they doing this stuff? Because I mean, I kind of think that you and I lean towards the middle.
Yeah.
On almost every single issues. I mean, you're a little bit younger. You know, you're probably more liberal on some things. I'm more liberal on other things. You're more conservative on some things. I'm conservative on other things. But more and more, we're more like in the middle because we're not like hyper conservative. We're not hyper liberal on things. You know, I try to look at all the issues as they come about as an issue. I don't look for the political parts of things. I'm definitely an issue person, and I find these things getting old. I just find it old. And I don't even play these games, but if I was a game player, because I watch shows and it's like remaking a show. So for me, this game is like remaking a game that you play, but fucking with it. You know, again, what are they thinking? Like, this is not your base.
Yeah, like my completely ridiculous. But
I mean, what do you think? What is the word on the street on your side, you know, on that?
About like I guess political alignment or just games.
Yeah, well, no, the stuff where they're doing this, where they're switching the characters.
I think most people that I've seen, and because I've asked this question before among friend groups, is like, and even my most left-wing friends are like, honestly, I don't care, but like what they do when it comes to like main characters of stuff, when it comes to shows or games, just like don't make it too preachy, where it's like, oh, I like girl power, or I'm I'm awesome because of like my race is like my.
So by them, so they do care then if it's a black not Mongolian woman leading the for Mongolia.
Yeah, but they're like, but if you make it really
preachy, that's kind of preachy.
Yeah, no, if you make it preachy, that's what I'm saying. If you make it preachy, they don't like it. But that's the thing, is that like if it's fun though. Like as long as it's not preachy and super like in your face about it,
or bad writing or
bad writing. Yeah, because there's like
that's how I feel about movies too, or TV shows. It's like if you made it good and you made it good writing, I couldn't care less.
All I'm gonna say is that Arcane, one of the that show, one of the best animated things I've watched in ages, does star like a lesbian character, right? Like a few.
Oh yeah, the girlfriend. Yeah, the two girls.
Yeah, the main chick is lesbian, and it's like I don't care because it's good. It's good,
yeah,
and that's what most people think.
It didn't even look like it was forced at all.
No.
Was it not in the game like that?
It was in the game like that for like a while, like over a decade.
Yeah.
I think.
So it didn't feel forced. It felt natural, kind of like oh my gosh, that show that you really liked and I watched too. I didn't watch the last season though. Oh my gosh.
The Witcher?
No, 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 no. The other one that we loved, and it was the time there was a bunch of the kids that were raised by the doctor that they had powers. Um,
I
oh,
cannot remember what you're talking about.
and it had what's his name that changed from Elliot Page
Oh, Umbrella
in it.
Academy. Umbrella Academy.
Yeah,
Yes.
Umbrella Academy. Thank you very much. I loved Umbrella Academy, and like
Oh,
you
great.
said, when you're like, it's not weird when
Because honestly, the
when she
marketing
changes
did
to
it.
the key.
The marketing did it way worse than what that it would have ever of been like. Which, by the way,
Yeah,
I'm gonna say fantastic show. However, in my opinion, just watch up to season 2 and then just kind
that's
of
all I did. I only
yeah.
watched up to season 2, and then it
You
started.
watched
I'm like,
you watched
what
all
the
the
heck
good
just
stuff.
happened?
You
Yeah,
watched
I was like, what the heck had just happened? Like the ending, and I went, that was kind of, it took me to a different loop, and then I just never got back into it.
yeah,
I did,
but
and
but
then it
yeah.
didn't. But you said you're like, it's not going to be weird. They did it very organically, and
Yeah,
that's
and
okay. And it was good acting.
that's what mainly matters. And to loop back around to the game stuff before we like finish here, because we've
Uh
been going
huh.
on for a bit, is that just mainly that's what it is. Is just like don't be weird about it. And when it comes to the Civ stuff, I just find it weird that they didn't show Genghis Khan or all Mongolians. They had
Uh
more
huh.
white guys in that black chick on than actual
Yeah, and that was
Mongolians
weird.
in the
Yeah,
trailers.
the cartoon had just those, or the trailer. I mean, the trailer had just those two. Mostly, they had the Mongolians in the background going, "Hey," but they
Yeah,
had the two actual main characters talking was black and white in Mongolia.
yeah, which I think is very offensive to Mongolian
I,
people.
I would find it offensive. That's just my point. I was just gonna
But
say, an America thing. I think they would have been better if they would have used Martin Luther King, or even Obama.
yep, I agree. Anyways, guys, I think that's a pretty long, good episode there. Gonna have to
Yeah,
see you later. What do you guys think? Put it in the comments down below.
yeah, and like we said, like and subscribe
Like,
and leave a
comment, and
comment.
subscribe.
Yep.
Alright. Ta ta.